So, Jeff, what has been your most memorable moment engaging with HIV aging research project?
I think it has to be the reunion project we did 2 years ago. And we do this every year. The reunion project is a day-long event for long-term survivors. And we have, the name suggests, it's kind of getting people together to recreate a sense of community. We have some educational programs. We usually try to have a good speaker. And that year we had Cleve Jones, who created the AIDS quilt, which for people who've seen it before, I mean, it's an amazing thing where there's a panel for people who've died of AIDS. And also that year we brought advocates from around the country, and we had a day-long meeting before the main community event. And they came together for the first time to really talk about what the priorities should be about HIV and aging for the community, what kind of services we need, what research is needed, stuff like that.
If there are some positive changes you want to see with this research, what are they and how would they benefit the community?
Well, I think especially in aging research, because HIV has a long history of involvement we have the advances we do today because people with HIV became involved at the very beginning. They fought for a place at the table, invented the term "nothing about us without us," and I think that's even more true now as attention is being diverted away from long-term survivors to preventing the disease, even curing the disease, and so forth. So I think we really need to make sure that researchers understand the importance of getting that voice at the beginning to decide what the priorities are, what the research should look like, how it gets done, and then most importantly, and this often doesn't happen, how do you get that information back? What were the results of the research? You take that back to the community and say, okay, what do we do with this research? How does that improve the services, the policy decisions, the funding we ask for, that sort of thing.
What are the main things researchers should do when planning a project with people living with HIV?
So I guess I kind of stole my own thunder, but it's what I was just saying about engaging the community from the very beginning. It doesn't always happen, and HIV advocates invented that process, and I think we really need to do that. Another thing I'd really like to see is focusing on older people. Right now, the average person living with HIV is in their 50s, but we don't know what's going to happen when people hit their 70s, 80s, 90s. There's even somebody who lived to be 100 with HIV. So we need to be looking at those people so we know what the majority of people living with HIV now are going to face in the future. So including those older people is something that I'm really advocating for, and Palm Springs is unique in that we do have that population and can make a unique contribution to the research in that way.